Newcastle would be crazy to sell Isak. Now, I'm not really going to talk about the story because I had a different point, but it just triggered something in my head. Is from the point of Isak. Would you think that in his head he'd say he's at a big team? Do you see what I mean? Like, is there a greener pasture if he goes to like Liverpool or City? Or not that he's linked with Liverpool, he's not linked with City, but I'm just saying, is that much of a step up now?
Liverpool, yes.
Okay.
I think out of any club in Europe, just based on what they've done this year, was it last year that was ropey?
No, they did all right. I mean, they were on for a quadruple for quite a while, and they did bottle every single one in the end, but
yeah,
I don't think it can be classed as a bad season, really. They were competitive in all the competitions.
I think if that's the case, then it's a step up, because Newcastle are on like a build, and Liverpool have got a team. Granted, 3 of their players are in question of leaving end of the season. If that happens, then is it the same successful team? I think if Van Dijk goes, they're in trouble. I know what Salah's stats are. I know there's no other player delivering his sort of numbers, but I do believe that is replaceable in terms of goals and assists. But the world's best centre-back, what do you do?
To be fair, I don't think he's been the world's best centre-back for the last 2 or 3 years. He ain't the best centre-back in the Premier League history. I'm sorry, he's not. He's not. He hasn't got the leadership qualities of someone like John Terry. No. He's not as good, I think, as an actual out-and-out defender as Nemanja Vidic.
Really?
He's not as good at ball playing as Rio Ferdinand. Do you know what I mean? I think in order to be called the best centre-back in Premier League history, he would have had to consistently be one of the top 2 or 3 in the world for 15 years, like John Terry was. And I think realistically, you can claim he's probably been the best centre-back in the league for the last 5 to 6.
The only tricky thing with that is you've got the likes of Rio Ferdinand, who were lauded as the best, saying that he's better than them.
Yeah, but you get people like that with everything. Like Gary Neville, if you actually listen to what the bloke says, you'd think that he was some useless fucking, was just there to fill the numbers. He's not. He's probably top 2 best right backs in Premier League history. You can't listen to what the players say about themselves because they will never, unless they are truly arrogant or foreign most of the time, they'll never put themselves at the top.
Well, Rio kind of has in a fair few conversations.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he's claimed he's the best ever. That's he's never said.
I wouldn't say he is the best ever.
No, nowhere near. Not in my opinion.
I think he's top 10, maybe top 5. I just think that there's definitely a recency bias with a lot of people. Like people who didn't grow up in the same way we did watching certain players. They just watch the highlights and then they'll compare them to people now where the stats will always favour the more current players, I would say, because they're more meticulously tracked for a start.
True, yeah.
I think there's an argument to say Salah gets in the all-time Premier League 11 now, purely off of consistency.
Yeah.
I think because the right wing position is a little bit scarce, I would say, because realistically you've got people like Beckham, Ronaldo,
it gets tight.
Joe Cole, maybe.
Oh God. Not the stats, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
There'll be definitely ones I'm missing. Mahrez, I mean, he was good for a good few years, I suppose.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, I think that one's a little bit of an easier debate than best centre back.
Oh God, yeah.
Because you go right back to people like Tony Adams,
John Terry,
Ferdinand, Vidic,
Yapstam,
Laurent Blanc was shit in the Premier League.
Fair, to be fair.
He was too old in the Premier League.
But you got Vidic,
Vincent Kompany, you got as well.
This is an odd
Ricardo
one.
Carvalho, Sol Campbell. There's a lot of people you could throw into. I'm definitely missing some of them as well. Don't fucking go at me.
I want to say one, but it's proper.
No, because you're going to pull out fucking Alex or something. like
Sylvain Distin. No, I wasn't going to do that. I was going to go Sami Hyypiä. Random as fuck, but as watching him as a defender when he played, I'd want that man next to me.
All I would say is that Jamie Carragher didn't put Sami Hyypiä in his best 11.
True, yeah.
So I think if the person who played next to him is not even putting him in there as his mate, I don't think you can sort of put him in that same conversation. But
no.
It's not. I think Van Dijk's definitely in the conversation, and I would listen to people who would claim that he's the best ever, and I think some of their points might be valid.
Yeah.
But you know, and this isn't just anti-Liverpool bias. I genuinely don't think he's the best ever. He's not. He was incredibly impactful for 2 years, where no one dribbled past him, and he was unequivocally the best centre back on the planet.
Yeah.
But
that stat is insane, by the
way.
Yeah,
it is, isn't it?
That is such a mad stat.
And the fact that Vidic played as many years as he did, and only
5?
led to 4.
5 seasons?
Oh no, it's more than that. He played from 2005, January 2005, and he left in 2014.
Really?
Yeah. He went to Inter in 2014.
Fucking hell, 9 years.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't immediately start. So call it 2000. Let's say 2006.
Yeah.
So yeah, eight good years, and he was still a consistent first team player in his 8th season.
That is nuts.
At 34, 35, 36, whatever he was. He was mid-30s.
Crazy, isn't it?
That was why that team fell apart, is because they didn't replace people quickly enough.
No.
You know, you had the person who replaced Nemanja Vidic was Chris Smalling and Johnny Evans. Now, good centre-backs in their own right, but not Vidic. Do you know what I mean? And he went on to Inter and he did all right and stuff like that. But
back to the Isak.
Yeah.
So what was your perspective on that? You think that basically Newcastle at the moment is as good as any team to be at in the Prem?
Well, yeah. If you're sticking in the Premier League, I can see your point with Liverpool, definitely. I can see it, but I think with the team Liverpool have got, I'd be amazed if they can keep up this success for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Van Dijk, you look at Robbo, you look at Trent's probably leaving in the summer.
Yep, Salah.
Salah's 32 or 33 now. Mm-hmm. They've obviously lost Mane, they've lost Firmino, they've lost. Do you know what I mean? I think that team's going to get. And they've got some good players coming through, Konate and Curtis Jones and Szoboszlai and people like that.
I'll tell you where Isak would. If I was Isak, where would I want to go in terms of where's the future at? I'd probably say Arsenal. They need a striker, right? They've got Havertz or Gabriel Jesus, and I rate Gabriel Jesus personally as a player. I think that just for effort levels alone, but he's not a standalone number 9. That is where Isak, if you look at who they've got, so the Martinellis, the fucking Sakas, they've brought in good defenders now, best defensive record in the league, nigh on. Like, there's a hell of a team. It did PSV 7-1 last night.
Yeah.
That is insane.
I think you're right. I think you look at the age of that squad, like I was just saying with Liverpool. I think Arsenal have got the opposite. They've almost got a too young of a team.
Yeah,
I think they could do with some more old heads in there to sort of marshal it a bit. Not that Isak's old at all. I think he's 24. But yeah, I think you're right. But I do think that Arsenal are going for Gyökeres as opposed to Isak. The only rumour I've heard for Isak is Liverpool, because they're going to get rid of Darwin Núñez.
Yeah, they need
fucking finally. Somehow they're getting 70 million euros for him.
From who?
Al Ali or Al
he's
Nasser.
Going out to bloody.
Yeah, he's going to Saudi. He's like 22 and he's going to Saudi.
What is he
doing? It's like
doing?
that John Duran. What are you doing, fella?
Yeah.
But yeah,
look, what a shame.
Yeah.
What a shame, because he can't. There's no way you can look back at his career as fondly and as proud if you go, I had my early 20s.
No, but
in Saudi.
He can look at his fucking super yacht and think, yeah, I've done all right, mate.
Yeah, his whole Uruguayan town that he comes from, all millionaires.
Mate, he could buy Uruguay with the fucking money he's gonna fucking earn over there.
Jesus, that's interesting.
But though. Yeah, I just think at the minute, it's more of a step sideways, or maybe diagonally forwards, than it is an actual step up for him. I know Newcastle aren't doing amazingly this year, but
the squad's lacking.
Yeah,
that's the thing. They've got a good team. When they've got everybody fully fit, first 11, hell of a team.
Yeah,
they just don't have the
I think they're getting fucked by PSR, aren't the same way Man United are. They're just getting, because they spent loads and loads of money and they don't bring in that much, because they don't have that much of a global appeal.
No.
They're very, very popular in Newcastle. Yes. But do you know, I bet you can name on one hand the amount of people you've ever met not from Newcastle that support Newcastle.
I'm trying to think if I've ever seen a Newcastle shirt outside of England. And was it worn by a foreigner? Or was it worn by
but only very briefly when they were bringing in nothing but French players. And you go, no, genuinely, you go to France, and there was a lot of people when they had Johan Gouffran and Cabaye and that weird Ben Arfa and that weird striker in Riviere, and they had loads and loads of French players. Then I did see them in France, simply because the fucking French national team played for them, basically all of them. But other than that, no, there's not to the same level of something like Liverpool or Man United or I suppose City nowadays.
No,
they're still not that. They're not that big abroad. They're quite big in America, but
in UAE out that way. Wild.
8 people who live there. It's not really global appeal, is it? Man United have got all of Africa, and they're like, yeah, but we've got some Saudi blokes. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, true. I like this.